Howdy, welcome to Horticulture Innovators, the podcast series where we will explore impactful innovations in horticulture. I'm Amit Dhingra, your host. I'm a professor and head of the Department of Horticultural Sciences at Texas A&M University. In each episode, we'll explore the inspiring stories of the pioneers who are contributing to sustainability, wellness, and food security through their amazing work in horticulture. Howdy, welcome to yet another edition of Horticulture Innovators. This is the special edition where we talk to our future innovators in horticulture. And today we have two of our upcoming stars in horticulture, our undergraduate student, Aidan Souder, and our graduate student, Hikari Skabelund. Why don't you introduce yourself, please, Aidan?
I'm Aidan Souder. I'm currently a senior here studying ornamental horticulture.
Cool. Hikari?
I'm Hikari Skabelund. I'm a PhD student, and this is my third year, and I work with abiotic stress factors in space.
Wow, wonderful. Space, horticulture. Well, we'll talk a lot more about that, actually, so that's pretty exciting. Well, I think in this podcast, we really focus a lot on innovations, how they're going to impact. And, of course, we bring in a lot of experts who've built their careers. And what is really special about this is exciting to listen to, learn from you. What are you thinking? What are you learning? And where's horticulture going? Because you are going to be the drivers of that. So Hikari, why don't you tell us about what are you working on? But before that, maybe how did you get to do horticulture and space? I mean, wow.
Well, I grew up not thinking I would do anything to do with my plants. My grandparents on my mom's side are actually tea farmers.
Oh, wow.
They do traditional green tea in Kyoto, in Japan. Wow. And then my other grandparents they did alfalfa. Oh. And I was like, I'm never going to do this. I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to do environmental engineering, mechanical engineering. So I went to Utah State University, so I'm Aggie squared. But there I did environmental and mechanical for about 3 years. And then my third year, I had a thermodynamics professor who was really interested in The Martian. If you've ever watched it or if you read it, one of my favorite things is I have The Martian actually signed by Andy Weir.
Oh, wow.
So he came to Texas A&M and I got a signed copy.
Awesome.
So very happy. But my professor was super interested in actually doing applications of engineering, but also added some kind of biological factors of if we put plants in space, how much plants area do we need for people to breathe and things like that. And it got me thinking, well, maybe I can do engineering, some system design, along with some maybe plant science things, and not be Mark Watney and get stranded on Mars, but maybe start producing systems in space.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of got sick for a year, and I would decide to go home. And then during that time, I really self-reflected and decided, you know what? I want to do plant science instead. I switched degrees my last year and then got into plant science research.
Well, two things I want to say a lot of people don't realize. Tea is horticulture.
Tea is horticulture.
True. And horticulture also is important for wellness. So, your association with plants may be indicating the internal message, internal radar saying, hey, you need to go towards that. That's cool. Aidan, what's your journey? What's your story?
Yeah, so I had a similar situation. Not a similar situation. I had, I guess at the beginning, a situation where I didn't think I would be going into plants. Unlike Hikari, I actually didn't have a family background. My dad's an engineer. My mom was an English teacher for a while. And so ag wasn't on the radar. My high school, I like to always tell people, I went to a 6A high school. My graduating class was 900 people. And the two big things there were music and football. I fell into the music camp. And that's kind of what I did through high school. And towards the end, I burnt out a little bit and started looking at, obviously sustainability and extreme weather conditions were something we were taught a lot about in my science courses in high school. So it was kind of, if I'm not doing music, I want to do something that'll improve the world a little bit. And I started looking at sustainability, and that kind of led me to botany. And when I realized that botany wasn't a program that a lot of schools had, I found out about horticulture. And it was really, like we say, it's a discovery major, and I discovered it. And that kind of led me to A&M where I am now. And I've done a little bit of everything in the meantime, kind of along the lines of trying to figure out where in horticulture I fit best. So I previously did a little bit of testing the waters with genetic engineering with Dr. Isashi Koiwa. Really liked it. It was a lot over my head, though. I don't have the background for that, maybe. And currently I'm in your lab, as you know, working on the genetic characterization of TV Munson's grape varieties, which we are finally getting rolling on this semester. Really excited to keep up with that. And those are two areas of horticulture I've really liked, but the one I've found myself drawn to more now is the ornamental industry and kind of the intersection between, it's a really valuable industry, and I really like the intersection between the business aspects of it and the actual on-the-ground science that we're doing to try to make those plants more sustainable, make the production of them more sustainable, and make them better fitted to different environments.
So I have two follow-ups. Talk to us a little bit more about your high school experience. You said there was no ag there, and yet it's a big part of what we all live for, because that's the basic need for food.
Yeah, so a lot of high schools in Texas, I've come to find out, I didn't know it at the time, have 4-H programs or future farmers programs, and those are really ingrained in a lot of communities. Coming from San Antonio, at least the northeast side, a lot of people there don't know. From my experience, a lot of people there don't necessarily think about that as a viable career. It's more of our high school was really preparing some of those, I think doctors and a lot of those degrees that you kind of, what am I trying to say here? A lot of those maybe high value degrees that people tend to think of when they think of things like that. Yeah. So ag just wasn't on people's radar. I didn't really know about any of that, and it's unfortunate because I think there's a lot of really smart people that I went to high school with, some of whom did get into ag and get into horticulture, but I think a lot of people would have really loved it, and if they had known where their food comes from and where their plants and flowers come from.
Well, second follow-up is ornamentals. Where did that come from?
Yeah. So the ornamental journey, it has been weird. It's been great. I think I just started noticing. It wasn't even conscious at first. I just noticed I was taking a lot of classes that were ornamental focused. Really loved Dr. Mahal's nursery and greenhouse classes. They're two separate ones, and they're both great. And I just really enjoyed growing beautiful things and kind of seeing the process, especially in controlled environments where you can kind of tweak. You can tweak so many different settings about that, and so many different. What's the word I'm looking for? You can tweak so many different things to get them to grow differently. Variables, yeah. Yes. So I kind of noticed myself taking a lot of classes in that direction. And my first internship in college that I took was at Creekside Nursery, which was really great. I really liked kind of the on-the-ground growing operations. But it kind of made me curious to see what else is there in that supply chain. There's the on-the-ground growers. I obviously had seen the consumer side of it in our grocery stores at HEB. So what else is there? And that kind of led me to Ball Horticultural Company. Yeah. They are based in Chicago. They're one of the world's largest horticultural companies. They specialize in ornamentals. So they specialize in anything that looks beautiful. And you introduced me to them at a career fair here. And it turned out I got that internship last summer. And I got to go live in West Chicago for a summer and work with Ball FloraPlant, which is their vegetative division.
So you are saying that if a student joins our department, they can have so much fun?
Yeah, they can have a lot of fun, and they can get introduced to some really great companies. And basically that internship sealed the deal. I mean, I left there like, this is completely what I want. This is where I want to be. This is a job. I really was interested in the product management. So you kind of get, as a product manager, from what I saw, you kind of get a hand in the business aspect, seeing what the market likes, seeing what needs to be released in the next year. But I also got to trial these plants in West Chicago. I was specifically, I guess it's confidential, but I was trialing for some specific environmental conditions that they were looking at for a new release.
Well, this is a great segue for controlled environment.
Yeah.
And so, Hikari, you're kind of going beyond the controlled, and it's built environments as well, right? Yes. So what sort of research you're doing right now? You don't have to detail any confidential material, but what type of work you're doing for this? And, a lot of people don't even know what horticulture is. when you talk about space biology and growing food crops in space is completely beyond their radar. So, what are you trying to do that will really help us do space travel, conquer other planets perhaps someday, galaxies? I mean, it's the stuff of fiction, but it's reality, becoming reality.
It is. It's definitely, especially going to the moon soon with like the Artemis programs,
Yes.
Gateway.
They're launching in a week.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. I really want to go
exciting.
down there, but
Wow.
I got plans to take care of.
Wow.
But it's exciting.
You wanted to go, right? Bioastronaut. That's a new job description. Bioastronaut.
it is a new
right?
job.
There you go, right? We got one amongst us.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of people forget that astronauts need to eat. They always think about the engineering side of things, and that's how I was for the longest time.
Okay.
And now I'm like, well, I really like fresh foods.
Yes.
It's mentally helping
Yes.
as well as it's nutritious and things like that. A lot of vitamins degrade if it's prepackaged.
Yeah.
So having a pick and eat system is really important. And that's where controlled environment or building environments are important, because in space we're not going to be growing outside like we can do here on Earth. So I mainly work with using in situ resources or resources that are relatively available on these type of missions. Right now we don't have any samples from Mars, but we do have some from the moon. I don't use genuine regolith. I wish, I really wish.
NASA.
So what is regolith? What is it? I mean, just for our audience, yeah?
Well, regolith, or as some of y'all might call moon dust, or it's going to be comprised of aggluminates. Aggluminates are basically micrometeorites that are hitting the moon over and over again. They expand and then they become solid, and then it has a mixture of different things in it. So it's basically like the moon's, I know that Dr. Pearson's not going to like this terminology, but it's the moon's soil. It's not soil though, because it doesn't have any biological forms in it.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to make the regolith into more biological by doing remediation and things like that.
And you're saying you don't have actual moon dust samples. So
Don't.
how the heck are you testing it without real, genuine moon dust?
I know, it's really hard. So I thought that too. I'm like, because previously in the years before even like there was space missions, they're like, oh, what does the moon look like? Well, let's make simulants. It was comprised of sand.
Oh, okay.
And just sand. And it was just kind of like, I think this is what the moon looks like. Maybe that's
Maybe just, yeah.
not that great. But then since we have gone samples,
Samples, yeah.
we're able to look at it chemically,
Nice.
physically, and then they're able to kind of make something very similar. So physically and chemically, it's similar.
So, did you guys, are you folks interested in Star Trek or Star Wars? Well, Star
I'm more of
Trek.
a wars man. But
You're war.
I'm
Star
a Trekkie.
I'm a
okay?
Trekkie as well. What I mean is,
2 to
whatever
1.
we were thinking in Star Trek, right? A lot of those things have become reality, but also all the space missions have generated new technologies which may or may not have helped all the astronauts during their space trips, but it has already helped people on planet Earth,
It does.
right? So, I mean, if we can grow something in those type of environments, do you think some of the plant material growing conditions could really solve some food issues here on planet Earth?
Definitely. Already, the first thing I thought of was LEDs.
Oh, yes.
So LEDs were light emitting diodes. They were used to actually grow food in space, and then they realized, well, we can actually use this on Earth as well, indoors. Why not, right? We have farm land, but then if we're in areas that are climatically harder to grow food in, we can grow stuff year-round indoors. But we don't have free sunlight, so we got to use LEDs. Another thing is that they've realized that with red LED lightings, the scientists that were working in those chambers, when they had little cuts and like little scuffs, it healed them better.
That's one of my favorite fun facts. Yeah, so now we have masks that are just red light, and that's like you can thank the same research that is for skincare that you can thank for indoor agriculture. Which
I
is
had no
pretty-
idea.
Pretty
Wow,
crazy.
that's a novel fact. So,
Yeah.
oh, wow, okay.
So everything we do up in space isn't just I've got told like, oh, you're doing stuff in space. Well, that doesn't relate to anything on Earth. Well, it really does.
Yeah.
What particular wavelength of red? I'm just kidding. It's
Oh.
okay. Is it 660 or 680?
We're,
Oh, I should test
yeah,
that.
I feel like we should know that. Yeah.
That's super cool if
Yeah.
that's what's happening. So that's one part of the whole situation. You know, you guys know that our department is organized around three key sort of call to action terms: sustainability, which obviously the first and foremost is profitability for our farmers, and secondly, you guys. We can't sustain the academia and the industry and Texas and U.S. horticulture competitiveness without future leaders, future innovators. So while you're working in these things, I want to just pivot my questions a little bit to ask,
Sure.
what do you think are some future innovations? Of course, you can speak from your space concept as well, because you're kind of really doing work that will span right from planet Earth home to anywhere we go. So what sort of innovations do you think are forthcoming, or you imagine or would like to see, essentially, to solve this food issue?
That's a tough one. Yeah. Everybody's, I mean,
I don't ask easy questions.
you don't ask easy questions. The really hot topic now is AI.
Oh, yeah, of
and,
course.
And that's an innovation that's been interesting to kind of see in industry a little bit. At the end of my internship, Anna Ball, the CEO of Ball Horticulture, it's infamous there that she always asks interns, what's one thing we could improve or one thing we could do differently? And when I heard that question, I thought about the amount of hours I spent outside in a field taking data on how many flowers had emerged, how they looked. So I was thinking, what if there were machine intelligence that could do that for me, that could they could see the patterns, they could maybe fly a drone over, something like that. Well, I posed this question to my mentors, and it turns out they had already been working on it for a really long time, and it just hadn't worked out yet. So the hot topic right now is AI innovations. I'm curious to see how realistic those actually become. But that's the first thing that came to mind, is like the big new deal of how machine learning, and especially integrating visual sensors into horticulture.
So you're thinking that AI can reduce the amount of hours we spend, especially in scouting things, which could have multiple applications.
Yeah.
So definitely make things easier and faster.
Yeah.
And reduce man hours, so we can actually spend our time in decision making rather than in data collection. I mean, that's how life has evolved. I mean, I was sequencing DNA, 15,000 base pairs took me a year, and now one of our graduate students has just sequenced 34 different species of pairs within her PhD. I know the technology's gone crazy, but that's amazing. What about you, Hikari? What do you think is the new innovation that you see forthcoming or would like to see come forward?
Kind of along with AI, I feel like automation is really big for me, because again, I do a lot of controlled environment.
Yeah.
And one of the things with astronauts is those are manned hours, and they have a whole bunch of science they're doing. They're not just doing plant things. They're not just doing biological things. They have a whole bunch. So I think automation is important, and on Earth you can use it too, because it reduces labor costs and things like that, and it gives people the chance to do things that they want to do themselves.
I want to point out too, I feel like I said this over summer, like I posed the question, and my big caveat was, if we're implementing AI and automation, it's not to take jobs away, it's to relocate them to somewhere more useful. Because I feel like just seeing, it's really hard if people are out there scouting all day to, there's also office work to be done. There's also business work to be done. Yeah. It's really hard to split your time. So I think my caveat for automation is we're not trying to maybe cut our bottom line there and get rid of workers. We're trying to be more efficient and more sustainable and put them in maybe a spot where they'd be more useful.
So what you're talking about is, you're talking about AI. That's the intelligent part. And what you're talking about, robotics, automation, is the precision part. And I think that's very interesting because, and to your point about not taking jobs, so we are currently in the process of looking for a faculty member in precision and intelligent horticulture. Just to also do one more thing is change and elevate or keep up with the times, the learning skills in our students or graduate students. The idea is that whenever technology has come in, we as humans have had to upgrade our skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the jobs go away.
Yeah.
It's just that the skill level shifts.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah, so I think that's where this is going to go. I mean, we talk about food security as one of our call to sort of purposes in our department, and food security is, I ask this question many people in public. They say availability of food. Well, the ability and the infrastructure to grow food is very important.
Yeah.
And I think if AI and machine learning are going to become part of our food production system, we need trained undergrads, PhDs, and leaders who can really take that on and continue to grow that.
Yeah. It's really incredible how we've adapted to it so far, because I'm in my 4th year of my undergrad. OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public early into my sophomore year. So I've literally been here before and after. I mean, that's going to be a shift in the way we think, right? Before and after we had this technology.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the way we have adapted. I mean, just my classes the past year and a half, we've talked about how we're using it with research and with, responsibly in research and responsibly in gathering information. So it's really interesting to see, you mentioned now to have someone specialized in that to actually train people specifically.
Well, as part of our process at universities, there's always this shift that's going on in evaluating curriculum to keep it with times. Because the one other important part is, I mean, our land grant universities are an engine for keeping the economy going, frankly. So as we train you very well, our faculty members, as you work with them, get your degrees, you become important parts of the economy as well. It's not all about money. But,
a lot of it is.
But that's the engine that runs a country, a nation, an organization, a unit as well.
Yeah.
But if we can enjoy doing it, why not? And the other part in all of this is that we are obviously doing our curricular redesign right now. And we're listening to the industry because we work for the public. We work for our industry. I mean, Texas alone has over $70 billion worth of industry, which that's a big contribution to the state's economy every year. So we are talking to the bigger producers and that small producer as well. So what are your needs? Because a robot of a different scale might work for a big farm, which is over 100 acres, but for a 5-acre farm, there might be other type of automation that can come help. So we have to also think about those scales of producing food as well. So I just wanted to switch. So I know you're doing PhD. Is it hard?
I love it, but it is hard. It's not for the weary.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you went straight to your PhD, so you didn't even have a test run in a master's.
Nope, no test runs. So
How was that
straight
for you?
PhD. It was good. I really wanted to do research. So I graduated with my bachelor's in plant science.
Yeah.
And then I waited a year because I was waiting for my loving husband to finish his degree. He's an engineer, so
cool.
He's my better half of me. But I do the hort part, so it's pretty cool.
So that's the better part.
That's the better
There
part,
you go.
actually. But and then I got into PhD, and it is a lot of research, and I love it. But also, I've developed this love for teaching as well.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So when I started here, I taught a horticulture lab for Hort 202, and I did it because I was new. I didn't know the campus very well, the people, and I thought it was a good time to kind of do something new. And I fell in love with it.
Cool.
I love teaching.
What are you teaching right now?
Right now I'm teaching floral design.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us about that.
This is my first semester teaching, and I think this is a great bridge because we have BA, we have BS, and I think this is a good melting pot.
Yeah, I think we are, as far as I know, we are the only department of horticultural sciences in the country that also offers a Bachelor of Arts in Horticulture.
Oh, wow.
So if there are people out there who love plants and art, they can choose that, because sometimes what happens is people feel like, oh, I'm not good at math or chemistry. I'll just, like, as a second choice, go and do that. But I think the first choice should be, I love plants and arts. I want to pursue this.
There should be a place for you.
Yeah. So in fact, our BA obviously focuses far more than just floral design. That's a key component. But we also have social horticulture. We are expanding it to include horticulture therapy.
I was going to say, I'm really excited for that.
The plant-human interaction piece. The idea of how aesthetics, that our middle piece, sustainability, wellness. Wellness, of course, you should eat and consume fruits and vegetables and nuts and everything. but also interacting with flowers and plants brings mental well-being.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I think our department is very unique. Of course, I'm biased, but so you wanted to add something to that?
Well, I was gonna say that drew me also to Texas A&M. My advisor drew me first, but I love Texas A&M because we do have a horticulture department. The United States doesn't have horticulture departments anymore. They're always combined.
Plant sciences.
Plant science. Utah State University is plants and soils and climate.
That's where you did your undergrad, right?
That's where I did my undergrad. And here it's like, oh, there's a horticulture building. And I was like, this is nice.
Well, there are about 22 programs left in the nation, and about one of our professors, Dr. Mike Arnold, wrote an article about 20 years ago, or even lesser than 10 years ago, that there were over 100 different departments of horticulture around the country. And I think I understand there are some sort of winds blowing in a certain direction to create these integrated plant sciences program. But we can learn from others where when we go away from the people we are called to serve, such as our industries, the horticulture industry is not called the plant science industry or the integrated plant science industry.
Yeah.
It is called the horticulture industry. And I think that's where I think that name piece is very important and critical. And I learned a lot of this in my previous life at another university, where it's a land grant mission. We got to really make sure we are staying true to that. And that really, the bottom line there is service to our industry, our public, our students, and that's the focus of that. What do you guys do for fun? I mean, I know this is all like, are you a musician?
Yeah, well, that's a leading question. Dr. Dhingra knows I am a musician. Yeah, so coming in, I guess I did mention, coming in from high school, I was really into wind band. I played trumpet. I did the whole the whole competition scene with marching band and concert band and solos, and it was really great. I thought for a period that's where my life was going to be going professionally. Kind of burnt out towards the end. It's also high school. But I've kind of kept that as part of me. I played in the wind band here at A&M for 2 years while I had time in my schedule. It was great. We got to go to Spain my last year on tour. I played in front of a cathedral in Spain, and it was amazing. Yeah. So that's something I do for fun. I also play guitar. I play at my church. What else do I do? I've gotten into running. I've always liked hiking and being outside. That kind of goes with this degree, I think, a little bit. Yeah. But I've gotten into also running, trail running, being outside, anything where I can be outside and be in the world.
I think that's an important point you make because, I teach this class, Professionals in Horticulture, where I always collect information like as part of an attendance question. Why did you choose horticulture?
I've really liked seeing those answers. I've seen they've become kind of on the Instagram. They've become a theme.
Yeah, we've got over 150 responses from the last 2 years. Oh, wow. I want to keep continuing that because I think there is already a pattern. People who love plants, obviously, but there were some unexpected answers.
There were.
It's like I was unhappy in my other major. It brought happiness. Sometimes you don't feel like the word happiness and earning your undergraduate degree coursework. Yeah, you party around and be happy. That's different.
Yeah, but there's really a passion that comes with the degree, I think, in what you do. I had this the other day. I was hanging out with some of my friends from church, and they were talking about their degrees. And it just so happens a lot of them are engineers. Yeah. And we were asking each other, and this is no shade towards engineers.
We need them.
We need them a lot. But we were talking about, like, what's the biggest stress in your life right now? And a lot of them were saying, I mean, everybody answered, oh my gosh, like across the street at school, it's just so hard right now. And I was really happy that I couldn't relate to them. I think there's been hard moments for sure, but I think in the end I've been really just in love with this degree from the beginning, which I've never felt anxious or stressed in the big term, in the umbrella picture about it.
You're surrounded by plants.
How can you? It's a good place to be. It really is.
Yeah. Hikari, what do you do for fun?
Well, I can't get enough about plants, so I garden at home.
Nice.
So I have research plants, but now I have plants I can take care of and eat because all my research plants go into a drying oven.
That's right, yeah.
So I can't enjoy them as much. But I like to garden. I also like to make sugar rockets.
What are those?
So
you've never made a sugar rocket? No. Oh, you got to tell them.
Okay,
it's great.
we got to make sugar rockets together. It's going to be a department where
Well, it kind of
Unique,
space team.
yeah,
right?
it's a unique social and a little bit dangerous, right? Because from my understanding, you caramelize the sugar. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, Kylan's gonna be so mad when I say he accidentally caramelized it a little too much, and I told him not to use the gas.
Did he make a
But
bomb?
he instead of electric, he used the gas stove, and some of that got in, and it blew up on our balcony. So
Yeah.
we gotta be
Sugar
careful.
rocket.
It's basically making a mini rocket engine. I also know your husband's an engineer. I know because I work with Dr. Zhen, your professor. He has a little bit of horticulture experience too.
Oh, really?
He
Yeah.
does.
Does he help you? I know he helps in the lab with some stuff. Does he? Do y'all have systems at home for hydroponics
Yeah,
that he
that'd be
works
pretty
on?
cool. Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing a hydroponic system instead of like a main plot garden.
Yeah. Okay.
In our backyard soon, and we're also creating a small like dome.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
nice.
where all of our
Wow.
hydroponics going to be. We're hoping it'll be automated because I'm really bad at watering my plants.
Fair enough.
You know, that triggers a question. I mean, we were talking about regolith earlier. Do we need soil to grow plants?
Well, actually, we don't need it.
Yeah,
like, we
yeah.
can use
Yeah,
it.
of course.
But we can actually use hydroponic systems, which is nutrient solution. So it's not just water. It does have fertilizer and it has nutrients. It has all the essential
Yeah.
nutrients that plants need. But we can also do aeroponic systems
Yes,
and
yes.
things like that.
So that will be very efficient because if you grow something in soil, you still need water. But this could be a far more efficient system. And I imagine it's not one or the other. We will probably have to have a whole, sort of repertoire of production systems depending on the crop we're working with as well.
Well, we have those systems on Earth.
Yeah.
We use hydroponic systems for a lot of leafy greens,
Yeah.
herbs, things like that. But we have things in the field,
Yeah.
and so more like corn, and it's not as horticulture, but like soybean and things
Yeah.
like that out there.
Well, the big part is that I think controlled environment horticulture on planet Earth is really booming. We've had a lot of large companies. I know that when new technology comes in, it reaches a point, fails, reaches a point, it fails. But then finally there are breakthroughs that can happen and move forward. I mean, a lot of our salads or greens are now being grown
Yeah.
hydroponically as well.
Love seeing that at HEB. You see
Yeah.
a perfect head of lettuce, and
Yeah.
it always says grown hydroponically
Yeah.
on it.
Do you know what HEB stands for?
I know a couple of definitions. Why don't you give
Healthful,
me yours?
edible, and beautiful,
beautiful.
which is horticulture.
Which is horticulture.
Actually, that brings me to another point. When you came in, what did you think horticulture was? And now that you're 4 years in, what do you think horticulture is?
It's a great question. I think I had a very, I think I just had this broad view that it was plants. I think having kind of the background search in my head looking for botany specifically and looking for sustainable agriculture, I think maybe my definition would have just been growing plants.
Yeah.
And that's not untrue, but it's really expanded over time, especially with the socio-horticulture aspect. I had a job before college working in a memory care facility I was a contractor for a company. I don't know if they are still out there, called Elder Grow, where they would basically make a little garden in these memory care units and teach a lesson once every 2 weeks to the residents. And that was something I kind of knew about. Then once I got that job, it really expanded the definition. Then, of course, once I took the socio-horticulture class, it really expanded that definition. So it's gone from just plants and growing plants to there's the hard science too, the genetics and the genomics. There's the socio-horticulture, there's the production, and then there's, of course, the business aspect to all that, marketing and selling the plants you grow.
Yeah. Well, I know that botany is no longer taught in most places anymore.
Yeah.
I got my undergrad and master's in botany, before I switched to molecular biology, plant molecular biology. But I had also a very limited view of horticulture. In fact, 15 years in another land-grant university, I basically was doing my genomics research, but I didn't really think too much about it. But over the last few years, it's really emerged that horticulture is truly the melting pot for everything that's not row
crops. Yeah.
Medicinal plants, flowers, to all the healthful products, plant products that we have. It's just fascinating. It's now, and also it's kind of a melting pot for science, technology, art, and business.
Yeah.
Because I think it really spans one of the unique disciplines. Again, I'm biased, but it does really combine those because we were talking earlier. That's why our sort of call to action, sustainability, profitability comes first. Because anything we produce, if we don't train you well and you can't get a job, that's failure. If we produce knowledge that growers, farmers cannot utilize to make better living, we failed. If we don't create science and knowledge to make sure that our growing environments can be productive and remain productive, both the controlled and the built environments as well as the natural environments, failure. So that's why we chose this trifecta under the sustainability aspect as well.
Yeah. I really think that you mentioning kind of the melting pot idea for all these different disciplines, I think that's something that's really kept me involved in the degree and just in the discipline in horticulture as a discipline the past 4 years. It's like every time I feel like I've kind of conquered something new or learned about something new, there's a whole new web of possibilities. Yeah. So it's really just kind of, it took me probably till my junior year to settle on focusing on ornamentals after my undergrad, because every time I learned about something new, I was so excited. It's like this whole new area to explore.
So you've done I would even add science, technology, art, and humanities and business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've kind of interacted with that, but Hikari, yours part, I mean, before I come to Hikari, the business part would be, you're going to be an ornamental, supporting a $40 billion industry within the state of Texas, but beyond. I mean, nationally, it's even bigger, of course.
It's very valuable.
Yeah. Hikari, so yours is like science and technology and art to some extent as well. And obviously the interaction part, nobody's really studying that piece of it. You're learning to grow plants right now. I think your engineering background really sets you up very uniquely to do this type of work. What do you think when you started these projects? I know you started in engineering, so but could you answer the same question? What you thought it was, and what do you think now it is?
Well, when I first started, I thought it was plants.
Yeah.
I thought plants.
Which it is, to be fair.
It is plants, but it's more to it.
Yeah.
Special plants.
It's
Special
special
plants.
plants. And then I also thought it was just IDing plants,
Oh,
I
wow.
guess.
Okay, just recognizing it's a botanical taxonomical.
Botanical, and I'm like, why do we need, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess that's a fun fact of going around. I just remember my grandpa pointing out at plants and be like, this is this, this is this. And I'm like, cool. So that's what I thought horticulture was. And then honestly, that's probably what I thought horticulture was even after I graduated in plant science, because we didn't have a horticulture department.
Oh, that's true.
And then now in my third year, I've realized it's just so much more. It is, like you said, a melting pot. It has all these different services. And the main thing is that we are trying to make the lives of farmers and industry workers easier with our research that we're doing. So we can create more food, and it's edible and beautiful.
Healthy.
And healthy. HEV.
HEV, yes, that's right. Well, as we kind of wrap up the conversation, I just wanted to say, what's one thing that you would like to send a message? I think, Aidan, from your side, high school kids, middle school kids who are looking to find a career. Everybody thinks it's a linear path.
yeah, everybody thinks it's a linear path. And it can be, but there's nothing wrong if it's not a linear path, I think. If you're asking what's one, like a piece of advice or something.
Or what message do you have?
Yeah, well, I've been really fortunate in my journey, and I've had a lot of great opportunities afforded to me. So I would say, if you get an opportunity, take it. You might not know for certain whether, for me, you might not know for certain whether horticulture is something you plan on doing for the rest of your life. Luckily, it is now that I'm here. I believe that. But take opportunities when they're given to you, and don't be afraid to try something new. If you're interested in it, try it out.
You said something, 40% of jobs, green-collar jobs, will go unfulfilled because we don't have enough people training in those. Yeah. And I think what we're trying to do through this forum and many other efforts that we're trying to do in the department is to connect with those students out there who either love plants but don't know what to do with that, or somebody's whispering in their ears that that's not a good profession. There are high-paying jobs here as well.
That's an unfortunate reality, especially where I came from, that there was a lot of whispering in ears that ag, and specifically horticulture, might not be profitable. Everybody's worried about money, which is fair, but it should be known that you can be successful here. I think that maybe try new things, try things that interest you would be my first piece of advice. And my second would be you can be successful in horticulture if you work at it.
You mentioned earlier at the beginning that we have this career fair. I mean, we really make an effort, one of the few departments, actually for the longest time, the only department that had its own career fair. And really a big shout out to our industries who travel from different places, not only just in Texas, from around the United States.
Around the U.S.,
to come and meet our students. And our goal is to make sure that once you graduate, you can have jobs over there as well. So do you want to add anything to that?
I was just going to say that one of the most reassuring things in this industry is that the industry wants you. Like they want to teach you, they want to take you on, they want to make sure you have the skills and that you'll join them one day.
And we're trying to provide you skills that make you competitive anywhere in the United States or globally.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do as well. And there's a whole world that fruits and vegetables and flowers and horticulture products are grown all over
in
the
every
world.
category. There's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
The industry wants you here.
Yeah. Hikari, from your journey from going from engineering to plant science to now space horticulture, what's one message you want to give? Because your path's not been linear either.
Mine kind of similar. I say yes to everything. Yes to every opportunity.
Yeah.
And especially since grad school there's a lot going on. Yeah. But I have a rule and I have a saying of saying that there's no such thing as busy. Because we can create busy. And we have lots to do, and that's important. But saying you're busy, well, we live in an age where we're on our phone. We can be on our phone for an hour. I've doom scrolled on TikTok before for an hour at home. So I feel like saying I'm not busy and saying yes to every opportunity really leads you to different areas.
Yeah. And I believe during undergrad and grad, that's the time to really live it up because I think we are in such a big rush. And having a child who just graduated from college as well, that's the messaging I was trying to provide all the time as well, that experience this. Don't be in a rush. So that's the important part. But I know we talked about one technology, innovation that you're thinking. Both of you kind of gave the same AI, machine learning.
That's fair. It's the easiest answer.
Let's do one thing.
Okay.
Other than that, what do you think would be the biggest breakthrough that can change horticulture as we know it?
It's so hard to say, and I'll say it. I don't know enough about my area to give a solid answer on that yet. I think there's still, for me, within the ornamental industry, I think there's just still so much more discovery personally to be done about what's new, what's an innovation, and what the future is going to be there.
Yeah, I think automation and machine learning would be sort of central, but there are obviously going to be several peripheral things. It will change how we do business.
Yes.
I think fair enough, because just in the last 5 years, we were hearing whispers of AI, machine learning, and look what's happened. It's just exploded.
It's hard to think of anything besides that sometimes. Because like I said, I mean,
it's everywhere.
In my undergrad, I went from not hearing that at all to it taking over the world. So it's hard to think of anything else sometimes, but I know there's people out there doing the research for it.
Yeah. Hikari?
Maybe it's because I haven't seen it firsthand, but I think there needs to be more collaboration. It's not a new technology, it's not a new sensor or a new product. It's just collaborating more. Yeah. I see so many times that someone's working on something and it takes them hours on end, and then someone else comes in and they're like, oh, I can do that in 10 minutes for you. Yeah. And as horticulturalists, like, we are good with plants, I would like to say. We kill them, but we also learn from that and we're able to grow them. But I think we need to be more interdisciplinary.
Oh, more cross-discipline.
Cross-discipline. And I think that's something that we are doing too with a lot of our certificates.
Yeah, we've got a certificate in viticulture enology, a floral design, and we have upcoming certificates in both exterior and interior landscapes. We're working on one in vine and wine appreciation, which will be partnership with the hospitality department and hotel management department, and then we're also working on developing this horticulture therapy certificate.
Yeah.
So the goal is to really do that. But I think your answers are very profound in that sense. I agree. And I think, and they are coming from a place of wisdom. I mean, knowing that you don't know enough and being open to what might come is a very important trait.
Yeah, thank you.
So I feel as a previous generation feel comfortable and reassured. And your answer, I think this is going back to the basic human quality of helping each other achieve the final goal, because at the end of the day, our mutual survival and progress and success really depends on that. Yeah. So I feel very honored and humbled sitting with you, who are the future innovators of horticulture, with both of you. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks for
thank
the conversation.
You very much. Yeah.
Good luck to both of you with your research.
Thank you.
Thanks, and Giggle.
Giggle.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Horticultural Innovators. Subscribe if you want to learn more and spread the good word. Thanks, and Giggle.